I just want to summarize this section on positioning. I think it's really important to emphasize that you are in the perfect position to take advantage of the internet and generate income based on the knowledge that you have. I want to remind you of the 3 levels of doctor. The first level of doctor treats the symptoms. The second level of doctor treats the root cause of the disease. And the third level of doctor actually teaches what to do to prevent the disease. And I point this out for a couple reasons. The first is just to remind you that most of us stay in the first 2 levels of doctor, I think, with using acupuncture and herbs, that we pretty much find ourselves there. And even though we do teach our patients what to do to prevent things, we often find that either they won't make the changes or that we don't have the time to share with them what we really want them to know. And this points out another thing, and that is that there are patients who don't want to be taught stuff. There's always going to be that patient that only comes to you during allergy season when they have allergies flare up, right? So they just want their symptoms treated. And then there's going to be the patients that will come to you when they don't have the symptoms, they don't have the allergies, where they really want you to treat the root cause and help them shore up their lung system and whatnot, an immune system. And then there's another type of patient that really wants to be taught what to do to prevent. Like, how do they change their diet? How do they change their lifestyle? How do they, eliminate toxins and really help their immune system? So you have to be aware that if you go out there and want to teach stuff, you do have to attract those people who want to learn those things. And hopefully I've shown you that there is a large demand for the information that you have. Acupuncturists are perfectly positioned to leverage the internet. You are experts in body, mind, spirit medicine. You're well trained in holistic medicine and lifestyle medicine. And there are people that are actually searching for your help. You saw in the video that I did on Udemy and the classes that people are actively searching for information that can help them lead better lives. You also saw in the video that I showed you on keyword research and how to set up a web page using the right codes and tags and that kind of stuff, that the internet gives you the power to reach those people that are looking for you, so you can match those things up. So remember, knowledge is the new currency, and you have lots and lots of expert knowledge. Now, even though we are natural teachers and we're teaching people what to do and what not to do inside the treatment room every day, we're only expected to sell our services. And this is where packaging information to sell alongside with your acupuncture treatments can be such a huge benefit. I'm going to be talking about packages in later videos, because what I see is that most people will package acupuncture treatments. So they'll sell a package of 10 or 20 or 30 acupuncture treatments. And that may work very well for some people. But what will really enhance your business and increase your income is to remove the package that you sell from the actual hands-on treatments. And here's what I mean by that. I'll give you a little insight into what's coming. If you package the information that goes alongside those treatments, and you sell that information in a way that they don't actually have to have the treatments. So the treatments are an adjunct to get them the result faster, and you require them to get that knowledge, because without that knowledge, the treatments aren't going to be as effective. So in other words, they buy the video series, or they buy the information that you've put together for them, the guide, then you can always sell that. And that is something that they can have. And then the treatments are something that they pay for individually. And the reason I do that is because think about what's going on right now with the coronavirus and the shutdown of most of our clinics. People who bought packages of acupuncture treatments cannot receive them. Yet you've received that income. And so I don't know how many patients are asking for their money back or what. But the problem with getting a chunk of money for a service that you haven't rendered is that it affects cash flow, and it puts you in a position where you always have to have that money to return to them if for some reason you cannot provide those treatments. Versus if you've sold the package if you sold the information as a package, and they're at home right now on the internet watching that information or reading that information, or you're coaching them in an internet call, then they're still getting that information. They paid for it. They're still getting it. There's no refunds. And the acupuncture itself is paid for as they come and get it. Now, I will cover this in much more detail later on and show you how to do it and how it works. But it is packaging is a great tool. I just think that it can be done in a much more effective way to get you much, much more income than the way it's actually being done right now. So the point is that I want you to sell what you know and what you have experience and expertise in. The mistake is to define yourself as just an acupuncturist. What you want to do is you want to define who you treat and the results you get them. So when you say, I'm an acupuncturist, it doesn't tell anyone how their life can improve. And I'm the most guilty person of this. I always define myself as an acupuncturist, and it's been hard to make a transition over to explaining who I treat and the results I get, because I'm so proud of being an acupuncturist. But this is something that if you can just change it mentally, even if when you're meeting someone for the first time and they ask what you do and you say, I'm an acupuncturist, even if you aren't able to make that transition in that moment, if you can start to mentally make the transition, it's going to help you, because the next sentence will be showing them what it is that you actually do to get people results. And here's the thing. So what I want to remind you. Nobody wants acupuncture. I know it's a bad thing. It's like, I feel like I'm saying a bad word here. Nobody is searching for someone to stick sharp, pointy objects into them. Nobody wants that actual thing. What they want is they want the result, and they just happen to know or have the experience to know that acupuncture can give them that result. But if they could get the result some other way, if massage got somebody the same result as acupuncture, I don't think people would be saying, yes, stick sharp objects in me. But massage doesn't, and chiropractic doesn't, and all these other techniques don't. Only acupuncture gives them that result. So that's what they're looking for. They're actually looking for help with the problem that they're having. And that's what I want you to be able to tell people that you do. I'm going to give you some examples of this in the next slide. But before I do, I want to remind you that whether you realize it or not, you are selling information every day. You're just not getting paid for it. So I want you to start getting paid for it. And I think part of the reason of this is that we're afraid to call ourselves experts or healers or leaders. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we struggle with, do we have clients or do we have customers? Or do we have patients? Like sometimes I remember in the beginning, I struggled to call my patients. I wanted to call them clients, and I don't know where that came from, but I'm sure psychologically I didn't want to consider myself a healer or something like that. So you do have to play around with the terminology that you use to think about yourself and describe yourself. So if you can't embrace calling yourself an expert or calling yourself a leader or healer, then embrace the term teacher or educator or facilitator. But the bottom line is you want to inspire your patients to take action. You want to inspire them to take the actions that are going to make their lives better. That's ultimately what you're doing. And that's ultimately what they're asking you to help them do. They want to be inspired and motivated to take action. They just don't know that the actions that you're recommending that they take is going to get them the results. And so that's why you're there to teach them that, yes, if they stop eating ice cream before bed every night, that their allergies and eczema and constipation and poor digestion will improve. So you're there to teach them these things. So the mistake is to just define yourself as an acupuncturist. So here are some examples I want to give you. I help women who have migraine headaches alleviate them without using drugs. So that's describing who you treat, who you work with, your target audience, which is women who have migraine headaches. So it's not just women, but it's those who have migraine headaches. It's not women with fibromyalgia. It's not women who want to lose weight. It's women who have migraine headaches. Now, you may treat those other things, but if you are doing something that is in the education space, you really want to narrow down the group of people that you work with and the problem that they have so you can give them the result The result is what they're looking for. They want to alleviate those headaches without using drugs. So that's another aspect to your target audience, is there people who can't tolerate the drugs, or they've tried them all and they didn't work, or they make them feel crummy. So you can see how this one simple sentence, I help women who have migraine headaches alleviate them without using drugs. That's a much better way to describe what you do than to just say I'm an acupuncturist, because acupuncture and herbs are just the methods that you use to affect that problem. So here's another example. I help men who want a natural way to eliminate back pain so they can avoid surgery. So that describes who you're targeting, men. They have back pain, so men with back pain, but they want a natural way to treat that back pain, and they don't want to go through surgery. So this speaks to also the mental state that they're in. They've probably been told that they have to have surgery. So it really describes the entire person. So can you imagine being a guy who's just been told they need surgery and they're terrified and they don't want it, and they're on the internet searching for a natural way, an alternative to back surgery, and there's your keyword, there's your your blog post or your web page or your video or something saying what you do. I mean, you've just brought these people to you and they're so excited, right? They're going to be ready to come in through your door, right? But let's say they live 3,000 miles away. Well, what if you have some kind of information product for them to purchase or download or look at? So can you start to see how by doing this, by not just defining yourself as an acupuncturist, and honestly not describing yourself or seeing yourself as just an acupuncturist, even though I think that's an amazing thing to be, you have the ability to reach out and treat and inspire so many more people. So for me, this is a new way that I describe myself. I help acupuncturists who want to add online income to their practice. Any acupuncturist, even though I work with other service-based providers, but if you're an acupuncturist and you want to add online income and you're curious about it, then I'm going to be the person for you that you're going to want to work with. So the next thing that we're going to do is funnels and ladders. And I'm really excited about this, even though I don't think funnels and ladders should be called funnels and ladders because they're really pathways and steps. But anyway, I'm going to go through marketing and sales funnels, and then I'm going to show you a super easy way to create content. And I'm going to show you how that also goes into a pricing ladder too. So you have content creation ladders, you've got pricing ladders. This is kind of all one big thing, even though I'm going to separate them out a little bit. Once you get the stuff on funnels and ladders, your mind's just going to go pow, and you're going to see how this is all going to come together. So I know we're really still very early in this whole process of putting together online income for your business, and I appreciate your patience with me. And while I'm saying that, I will ask you, I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to ask you, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please like and subscribe and, leave me a comment. If you're watching this in the Diversify Your Income Facebook group, awesome. Give me a like. What I would really like is for you to give me some feedback at this stage. So, of course, I'd love praise because that will help me to have testimonials and that kind of stuff. So if you could leave me a comment on what you've gotten out of this course so far, or how you find my teaching style. And if you have any constructive criticisms that you'd like to see me do differently, I'm open to hearing that as well. So please leave comments. I love engagement and interaction, and I do appreciate your questions. So, all right, on to funnels and ladders and what I call pathways and steps. See you in the next video.